Happy New Year. Today I have this Douglas pine 4x4 that my husband had picked up for me to make some Christmas trees, and then things got a little crazy around our holidays here, and so I ended up not having any time to work down here on the lathe at all. So I'm not in the mood to do Christmas trees anymore now that it's the new year, and I think that I would like to just, since this is such a simple wood, I thought that I would just like to really play with some paints and stains and stuff with just a basic. I mean, this doesn't have like that great of a wood grain. It's you know, it's got a wood grain, but it's not like that interesting that I would not want to cover it up. You know, some of the other wood grains just have so much beauty to the wood grain itself that you really don't want to mess it up. This is not going to change all that much in the color as far as when you put a clear finish on it. It's just going to get a little bit of golden. So it doesn't, you know, really get enhanced by the finish and stuff. So it's a perfect, I think it's a perfect wood to try to do a little staining practice and painting practice and see how well I can do that. I have a few ideas in my head, like I'd really like to see about layering colors. You know, I had seen that if you put the color, the darkest color down first and then sand off and then put the lighter color, you get like two contrasting colors, and I just thought that that would be a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what we're going to try. I'm going to try to just do a basic vase. I'll cut it and do the basic vase, and then we'll get started doing the staining. What I'm doing here is I have crossed off, measured off to get the exact center. I'm just putting a little guide hole with the hole punch. It's not really necessary, but this way I can see exactly where that I have it completely centered when I put it on the lathe. Now when I lock this in, the tailstock, and it's right in that center point, then I can actually turn this to make it sink in on this end as well. Okay, we're going to drill a hole in the end that I can then set this little votive candle into. 1.5 inch Forstner bit. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be an experiment, and hopefully it works. I'm going to paint with this mica. It's mica powder. Usually you would use it for resin. It's mica powder mixed with polyacrylic, and then I will sand that off and put a lighter color, and then I will sand that off, and I'll keep going lighter and lighter and lighter, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. You see how the wood grain really picked up a lot of that color. So let's go over with just 600 grit, very, very fine sandpaper. All right, let's put the next coat on. Now this time I'm going to use another first one before I go to the real light colors. So this is just slightly lighter than the other one, but it's a little bit more metallic-y. So hopefully it gives us a little bit more of a pizzazz. Okay, I did not like the way this came out at all. Um, it just looks like it's got a blue hue or green hue to it. It's just not, I really wanted the wood grain. I mean, it looks kind of cool there. You can see where you see the colors in the wood grain. That's kind of cool, but you have to look so closely at it that it doesn't really stand out. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this completely down, back to the raw wood, and then I'm going to try to do basically the same method, only with 3 different colors of, I have this pouring paint. And I mixed up the blue with some titanium white to get a light blue, and then I have a gold. So I'm going to, and I mixed all of these colors, I mixed into little cups with polyacrylic. So it'll adhere a little bit better and it'll have a bit more of a shine and a little bit of translucency. But it won't be as translucent as the mica powder was, because I think that's what the problem was, is the mica powder, it was too translucent. It just, it doesn't really show up at all. Unfortunately here, you know, at the top part, that's where it's showing up nicely, but that also covers then all the wood grain. So it doesn't really, you know, get the effect that I was hoping for. So anyway, I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to sand this completely back down to the raw wood, and I'll try the process again. Fingers crossed. Ay, ay, ay. I'm a nervous wreck. Okay, moment of truth. So this is pretty gold now, but I want, as blue and gold, but I want a dark contrasting color in here. So let's see. Oh, okay, we're gonna try one more color. I don't think this is coming out as showing as much on the camera as it is in person. It's pretty nice. It's very blotchy. It looks like rustic thing. But my whole idea was that there would be a very dark and light contrast. So I'm getting kind of frustrated over the fact that I cannot get the dark contrast in there. I thought it would be smart to do the dark contrast first and then go lighter and lighter and lighter, but that's turning out to not be working. So I'm going to try to go over it with the dark and see what happens. Scary, but we can always sand it down again.